Let me put you back together, then take you apart all over again.
Ultimate Custom Night just dropped a few days ago, and the mystery behind Five Nights at Freddy's has been rekindled. This time though, it's much more challenging to power through this beast. If you thought the 4x20 night of Five Nights at Freddy's 1 was bad, well, you're in for a treat. At the hardest setting, you'll be up against 50 individual creations that will certainly give you a run for your money. We're told it's feasible, but imagine it's going to take some people quite a while to finally hash out the pattern. However, while the challenge is definitely appealing, for those who know me, you know I'm a lore fanatic. Immediately, my focus going into this game was looking for pieces to the puzzle that we may have missed. We have a general formula for how the FNAF series played out, but we still don't have a clear picture. At the end of Five Nights at Freddy's 6, we have a bunch of animatronics burning in a building, finally eliminating the threat to William Afton. But there's still a ton of unanswered questions all around. Now, one might immediately say, but Swanky, before you get into it, we can't really take Ultimate Custom Night as canon. And my response to that is, how do you know? Hear me out for a second before jumping down in the comments. Obviously, it seems weird that we have 50 characters gathered in one random location. That doesn't seem to make any sense. It's a giant Five Nights at Freddy's buffet, and you get to pick your poison. All the elements from the previous games are present, and it seems to be like some giant Venn diagram where all the games overlap. Now the problem with this game is that at its core, it certainly is just that. A Five Nights at Freddy's challenge simulator where the best players can test themselves with almost endless possibilities. But just like every Five Nights at Freddy's game and book before it, while everything included may very well be canon, that doesn't mean aspects of the game don't give us puzzle pieces to solve previous problems. Now, there's certainly a lot to cover again with this one, so for today, I really want to focus on one topic: the argument that the game is canon, and that it can be placed in the FNAF timeline. In order to reach that point though, we have to cover a lot of groundwork, and that involves a lot of dying. Lots and lots of dying. Because every time we die at the hands of an animatronic, we are typically given the chance to hear various audio clips. Sometimes these clips are just silly banter, whereas other times they say some really strange things. Let's start the discussion with Nightmare Freddy, whose various dialogue clips are as follows.
I am remade, but not by you, by the one you should not have killed. No light can save you now. I have always been hiding in your shadow. What a gift to relish, a victim that can't perish. I am given flesh to be your tormentor.
Now, these audio clips set the stage for a common theme that you'll hear soon enough through the other dialogue pieces in the game. For starters, our player is a creator of some kind. They are recognized as someone who is capable of remaking this Freddy, but they are not the one who has done so. Someone we killed brought them back to life, so to speak. However, this animatronic mentions that the victim cannot perish, meaning we cannot perish. They were brought to life to make us suffer for a long time, which is kind of a bizarre concept. Before we start talking about who we potentially play as and what's really going on, we have some more audio to get through.
Seeing you powerless is like music to me. I don't hate you, but you need to stay out of my way. I recognize you, but I'm not afraid of you. Not anymore. The others are under my protection. The others are like animals, but I am very aware.
Seeing as his voice is from the marionette, who is Henry's daughter according to the ending of Five Nights at Freddy's 6, there's very few people they would probably say this to. You were someone who once had great power, but now it's all been stripped away. Beyond that, you were once someone who was greatly feared, but that fear has subsided, which is pointing us to a pretty particular character who should rightfully be dead. But I digress. Some more audio is as follows.
Looks like something bad happened. I guess you forgot about me.
Baby's audio files seem to refer to a terrible event that had occurred prior to this last encounter. However, unless Baby is referring to events prior to Sister Location, it almost seems like she's talking about the fire at the end of Five Nights at Freddy's 6. Now, a good amount of people could have forgotten about Baby, but once again, we're being pointed back to the Aftons. In particular, William. If we played as Michael Afton, unless he has a dark past like William, then it wouldn't make sense for the animatronics to be talking to him this way. Just like Henry stated at the end of Five Nights at Freddy's 6, One person in particular, William Afton, was a horrible, murderous man. It would make sense for those harmed to seek out their revenge against him, to rise up as a tormentor like Nightmare Freddy mentioned, and other animatronics feel the same way. Just listen to these audio clips from them.
Time for your controlled shock. You won't die, but you'll wish you could.
Seems like we are immortal after all.
You will not be spared. You will not be saved. The shadow fears me. I am your wickedness, made of flesh. I am here to claim what is left of you.
Nightmare Bonnie appears to be a direct manifestation of our player's wickedness.
This is a nightmare that you won't wake from. This time, death cannot save you. The nightmare is just beginning. Let's taste death again and again and again. I am the fearful reflection of what you have created.
The fire within me burns eternal, and now you shall as well. I am a burning reminder of your misdeeds. Greetings from the fire, and from the one you should not have killed.
And with these responses, things begin to take shape. If we're playing as William Afton, a lot of these responses make sense. And beyond that, it helps us understand what is truly going on here. Ultimate Custom Night takes place after Five Nights at Freddy's 6. As Afton and the animatronics go up in flames, Afton is reliving the nightmare world he created every single day. As Henry stated, although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting, old friend. It looks like Afton is caught in a never-ending state of limbo within hell. Dying doesn't bring him any rest, and he's eternally tormented day in and day out by those he ruined along the way. When he dies, he simply relives the same hell again. This is further supported by other animatronics.
You won't get tired of dying, will you?
What is this new prison? Is it me trapped, or is it you? Perhaps it is us both.
This is how it feels, and you get to experience it over and over and over again, forever. I will never let you leave.
But that's not all. It gets even deeper. Because what would Five Nights at Freddy's be without some secret minigames? If you select Old Man Consequences, who is a secret character from Five Nights at Freddy's world, and start the game with only him on level 1, you can be whisked back to the secret area of Five Nights at Freddy's world. After falling repeatedly over and over, here you'll find Old Man Consequences fishing. He tells you to come and sit with me for a while. Leave the demon to his demons. Rest your own soul. There is nothing else. The only way to exit this area is to crash the game by drowning yourself in the lake. But something very interesting about this scene is actually the garbled audio that plays in the background. After speeding up the audio by 1000% and removing 3 sampled noise sections, we can hear the muffled cries of someone. Give it a listen. While it's insanely difficult to try to understand what is being said, what I was able to piece together was a combination of screaming, the name Mike, and the phrase I hate. Try listening again with that in mind. And that's what makes this whole thing even more interesting. It sounds like William Afton is screaming from the fires of hell, and his repeated animatronic nightmare, where he's dying over and over again. Perhaps knowing his own son led to his demise eats him up inside, as he screams in agony. This would make sense because in most Five Nights at Freddy's minigames, we typically change characters. We recall a memory or seeing a scene from a different point of view. William Afton will forever suffer at the hands of the demons that he created. And this places the game at the immediate end of the Five Nights at Freddy's timeline. The building we are in isn't real and is merely a construct based off the horrors that have taken place through the series. But honestly, there's still a lot more that needs answered. What's the meaning behind the silly cutscenes in the game? Why is Toy Chica murdering her classmates? If we truly are William Afton, why is one of the songs in the game called Isotrophobia, which is the fear of mirrors? Doesn't that make more sense for Michael Afton, given the end of Sister Location? And last, who is the one who shouldn't have been killed? We know for certain it's a he, according to Mangle.
He's here and always watching. The one you shouldn't have killed.
But I suppose they'll have to be left for another time. In the meantime, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe for all sorts of theory goodness. There's a lot more to delve into, so be sure to ring the bell to stay up to date with all my future uploads. And with that, thanks for tuning into this post-finale analysis. If you like this video, you might enjoy some of these. Thanks for watching, guys and gals, and until my next video, cheers.